Would you believe there are actually 17 different kinds of penguins in the world? That's a lot. Each one looks a little different from the others. To make it a little easier to keep track of, scientists use 6 different groups. Here are the 6 groups and pictures of each kind of penguin in those groups. Use your computer mouse to move your arrow over a picture to find out what that kind of penguin is. When you are finished, click the button at the bottom of the screen to return to the main menu. African, Gentoo, Little Blue, Penguins are birds, but you won't ever see one flying in the air. Why? There are a couple of reasons. You may have noticed that penguins' wings are fairly small compared to their bodies. Unlike flying birds, penguin wings don't spread out so they can't create lift to get off of the ground. The wings are rigid and actually work a lot more like the flippers on a dolphin or seal. These flipper-type wings make penguins very fast swimmers. Also, penguin wing bones are thicker than flying birds' bones. Most birds have hollow bones in their wings, which help them to fly. Like our bones, penguin wing bones are filled with a pasty substance called marrow. Another reason why penguins can't fly is the feathers on their wings. Penguins' feathers, shown here in the top circle, are small and smooth and look kind of like scales. Not good for flying, but they help penguins to zip through the ocean. The feathers of flying birds, shown in the bottom circle, are fluffy, which gives them push to stay in the air. Click the button at the bottom of the screen to return to the main menu. If you think adult penguins are cute, take a look at these penguin chicks. As you might expect, newborn chicks are much smaller than their parents, usually 4 to 6 inches tall and less than 1/4 of a pound. That's small. Chicks' feathers are very short, and they look a lot like black or gray chicken chicks. But they quickly start growing up. After a couple of weeks, their feathers become very fluffy, which gives them a fuzzy look. A few weeks later, the chick becomes a juvenile penguin. Juvenile penguins' feathers are called down, just like we call duck feathers. Because they are fluffy and not waterproof, the down cannot keep the chick warm if it gets wet. So for several more weeks, the chick stays on land while its parents take turns going out to sea for food. Once the juvenile penguin loses its down feathers, a process called feathering, it can swim and hunt for food on its own. Click the button at the bottom of the screen to return to the main menu. You may have heard that penguins live at the North Pole, but they do not actually live there. They live in many places around the world. You may also be surprised to learn that some penguins even like it in warm places. All of the land on Earth is divided into 7 parts, called continents. We live on a continent called North America. Sadly, penguins don't live in nature here, but we can still see them at the zoo. Use your computer mouse to move your arrow over any of the colored continents on the map to find out what kinds of penguins live there. When you are finished, click the button at the bottom of the screen to return to the main menu. Penguins get sleepy just like the rest of us. After all that swimming and waddling, sometimes they just can't keep their eyes open any longer. On average, penguins spend 80% of their lives in the ocean. Most of that time is hunting food for either themselves or their chicks. They usually only come on land to build nests, raise their chicks, or molt, which is kind of like shedding. With such a busy schedule, it's tough to get some sleep. While on land, penguins will take short naps, usually only lasting a few minutes. Some scientists believe they can rest in the ocean too because they spend long periods there, often days at a time. To help keep warm while they nap in the freezing climates, penguins tuck their beaks under one of their wings. That's pretty smart, huh? Click the button at the bottom of the screen to return to the main menu. Like all animals in nature, penguins have evolved with features that best help them to survive in their natural habitat. Their black backs and white fronts make them very difficult to see underwater, where they spend most of their time. For example, look at this picture on the left. When the light shines on the penguin's white feathers, it blends with the light sky above. In the picture on the right, even with the penguin at the water's surface and close to the camera, the black feathers on its back are blending with the water. From a distance, it gets very difficult to see it. That is why predators, animals that hunt other animals for food, cannot easily locate the penguins in water. Click the button at the bottom of the screen to return to the main menu. Only 2 of the 17 species of penguins do not have black back feathers. The first is the king penguin. The back of the king penguin is silver gray. Right at the neck, the silver gray feathers wrap around towards the front, but not quite the whole way. To me, it kind of looks like they are wearing capes. Because king penguins and emperor penguins look so much alike from the front, I use their feature to help me recognize them. Just remember the phrase, the king penguin wears a silver cape, and you will be able to spot them too. The second kind of penguin has blue feathers, where the others have black. I guess it makes sense to call this kind a blue penguin. They are also called little penguins because they are the smallest species. And for people who can't make up their mind, they call them little blue penguins. These little fellas are usually about 12 to 13 inches high and 2 pounds. While it's true that the other 15 species of penguins are black and white, there are some rare exceptions. About 1 in 50,000 penguins has only light-colored feathers. Scientists call this a mutation. Where you would usually see black feathers, these Isabeline penguins have a light gray or light tan color. Even more rare are albino penguins. These rare penguins do not make pigments, the chemicals that give body parts like skin, hair, beaks, and eyes different colors. This happens in penguins so rarely, scientists call it a 1 in a million event. For the first time, an albino penguin was born in captivity in a zoo in England in 2002. He was named Snowdrop and has a brother with the usual black and white feathers. Did you know that there is an all-black penguin in the world? It's true. This special penguin is the first and only documented all-black penguin ever. The odds of it happening again are so small, scientists cannot even give an estimate. We are so lucky to be able to see this amazing creature while it's alive. Click the button at the bottom of the screen to return to the main menu.